Good marketing is all about hope. And a great organization, an organization like HBL, is all about hope. 3 करोड़ 60 लाख लोग इस वक्त HBL के कस्टमर्स हैं. 2.6 खरब रुपए was actually transacted through those 150 million transactions in the first half of 2023. What do you look for in a bank? Solidity, legacy, heritage. मेरे पैसे इनके पास महफूज हैं. Actually, it's not just a landscape of the banking industry that's changing. I think landscape is changing, period. It's any industry. In fact, landscape is changing across society. But coming back to from the context and the prism of marketing, I think we are now living in what I recently read, a time of peak disruption. Every available matrices and every available or every conventional approach of marketing is being disrupted and being disrupted very fast. So I think this is a peak disruption era that we are living in. And obviously it requires being very, very nimble. That's the first part. Now, when I say nimble, I don't want to come across as just saying something truism. I think nimble in terms of how an organization reorients itself to this changing disruption time. 5 years ago, if I would have said to you something about a platform called TikTok, you would have said, TikTok what? Now, if I'm telling you TikTok, you say, obviously, you've got to be on TikTok, right? And I'm not sure what the next 5 years would bring about. I'm not sure what we will be sitting here and having a conversation 5 years from now. So so you've got to be very nimble in terms of how you approach stuff. Now, what does that mean about HBL? In 2018, only 16% of my media spend was on digital. In 2022, that has gone up to 45%. So 45% of my media spend is going on digital platforms. So what that really means is, and I'm saying digital platforms, of which TikTok obviously takes a lion's share at 40% of what I'm spending on digital. For a bank to be on TikTok is something that doesn't make sense. When you think about as a knee-jerk reaction, but when you think about it, you say, obviously, if your customer base is so widespread as HBL's is, so you've got to be where the customer is. And at the end of the day, we keep on talking about the changing landscape. It's not the landscape that's changing. What you really need to do is, in this changing landscape, how do you reach out to customer? Because at the end of the day, no matter what we do, no matter what business we are in, it's about reaching out to customers. So digitalization in terms of how we reach out to our customers has been the main strategy change that HBL has brought in the last couple of years. They're not two separate words, heritage and innovation. So it's because by its nature, the question implies that if you have a brand with heritage, you can't be innovative. Not really. Heritage is where we are coming from. We are coming from an era when we started off our operations in Pakistan 75 years ago. We are the first bank that was there in Pakistan on 14th of August 1947. That's our heritage. And we are very proud of that heritage. But we're also very proud of our innovative approach to what we do on a regular basis. So we've been innovative 75 years ago, what accounted for innovation then, and we're innovative now, what accounts for innovation now. So for example, we recognized early on that customer need to reach out to the bank. That's the whole thing. How do you reach out to the bank? You reach out to the bank through social media. How do you do that? Twitter is a medium that we realized that customers and consumers reach out to HBL. They want to talk to us. They want to see what's going good with their services, what challenges they are facing in their services. So what do? We had a Twitter account, but we said that's not enough. So we launched earlier this year a dedicated Twitter account called HBL Care, and that HBL Care is now there's a second Twitter account that HBL has. We have HBL Park, which is the main Twitter account from which we communicate to people and we tell them what thought leadership space we occupy. But through HBL Care, we now allow the customers to reach out to HBL and just talk to us about how can we improve better services. That's innovation. But again, it's innovation keeping in mind the customer at the end. Because a lot of times when we think innovation for the sake of innovation, and we tend to forget who are we innovating this for. And for me, the underlying motivation for anything that you do is how can you reach out to your customer or your consumer better, and how can your consumer or customer can talk with you to improve what you offer them. Once you've got that relationship sorted out, that's innovation for me, and that's what we do. Recently, Asia Money, a very respected international magazine, awarded HBL the best digital bank for customers. Now that's a reflection of how we do business. And HBL has two options of integrating digitalization in its brand promise and what we do. One is called the Connect by HBL, which is our branchless banking proposition. And the other one is obviously HBL Mobile. And the results are absolutely phenomenal. I mean, it took us roughly 70 years to get to a 12 million customer base. Yeah. And it has taken us another 5 years to triple that. Currently, HBL has 36 million customers. 3 crore 60 lakh log इस वक्त HBL customers हैं और इसको 75 साल हो चुके हैं. So what I'm trying to say to you is, first 70 years, 12 million customers. Another 5 years, and we go from 12 million to 36 million. And the pandemic era really accelerated the digital adoption. And both our platforms, which is Connect by HBL and HBL Mobile, accelerated that adoption. Now, I'll give you some numbers, and those numbers are, you might think that, Ali, maybe I got my zeros off, मैं गलत number बोल रहा हूँ, because some of the numbers are absolutely staggering. In the first half of 2023, 115 million transactions, which are 85% of the total transactions of HBL, took place digitally. And a total throughput, यानी कि उसमें कितना पैसा उसमें से कितना निकला या कितना ट्रांजैक्ट हुआ, was 2.6 trillion, 2.6 खरब रुपए was actually transacted through those 150 million transactions in the first half of 2023. That is the volume of digitalization that's taking place now, and those are hardcore numbers. These are not just numbers that I'm just saying. I'm giving you platitudes. So when you factor in that, when you factor in all of these things, you realize that this is a bank which has legacy and heritage, and we are absolutely proud of that fact. Because for a bank, what do you look for in a bank? Solidity, legacy, heritage. मेरे पैसे इनके पास महफूज हैं. That's what you look at. That's what you do. Now, the second thing you say, इनके पास मेरे पैसे भी महफूज हैं और ये मुझसे अब उसी तरीके से बात करते हैं या उसी तरीके से मुझे रीच आउट करते हैं जैसा कि मैं करता या करती हूँ, which is मोबाइल फ़ोन के ज़रिए. ये उससे मुझसे बात करते हैं. तो ब्रांचेस अभी भी हैं और वो रहेंगी, उनका अपना एक अलग फंक्शन है, लेकिन हमारे ज़्यादातर ट्रांजैक्शन, जैसे मैंने कहा, 85% ट्रांजैक्शन जो हैं वो डिजिटलाइज हो चुके हैं. You know, HBL is the title sponsor for Pakistan's largest and biggest ब्रांड बिल्डिंग प्लेटफॉर्म और स्पोर्टिंग प्लेटफॉर्म HBL PSL। उसमें हमारे पास बड़ी अच्छा एक इंटरेस्टिंग सिचुएशन आई थी कि जब कोविड हो रहा था, HBL PSL चलता रहा, लेकिन इट बिकेम अ नॉन स्टेडियम गोइंग इवेंट। स्टेडियम में कोई जा नहीं सकता था, मैच हो रहे थे, इट बिकेम अ टेलीविजन स्पेक्टिकल। नाउ व्हाट डू वी डू? सारा मजा तो ख़त्म ही हो गया था उसका कि जब लोग जा नहीं रहे, स्पेक्टेटर्स जा नहीं रहे स्टेडियम में। सो जैसे आपको पता है कि HBL की टैग लाइन है कि जहाँ ख्वाब वहाँ HBL, that's what we say, right? I'm sure everyone knows about it, and we took that line and we played upon it and we said जहाँ fans वहाँ stadium, because we just said कि because we had to really reach out to people and say कि कोई बात नहीं, अगर HBL PSL नहीं हो रहा है, sorry HBL PSL हो रहा है लेकिन आप स्टेडियम में नहीं जा सकते, no issues. Stadium is where people get together. तो जहाँ भी fans जमा हो गए, wherever fans get together, that's where stadium becomes. So your living room can become a stadium. Your street corner where a couple of friends get together and watch something on a mobile phone or becomes a stadium. So we had this जहाँ fans वहाँ stadium, and then we kind of integrated that into a variety of mediums, and both digital and conventional. So we pushed it through TV advertising. We pushed it through messaging on digital forms, and we got together for the first time. We had a massive TikTok campaign on that, where we merged TikTokers and influencers on Instagram, and they really came in and they took that line out, and we got something like, correct me if I'm wrong, I'll give you the actual number, something like 20 billion views of the hundreds of thousands of videos that were created by creators, both influencers and otherwise, who then talked about this particular slogan of Jahan fans, Wahan stadium. And so this is a function of, as I said, cross-functional approach, where the bank as a sponsor and our fans and influencers all came together and created this buzz that I believe helped us really. I've been told that TikTok has informed us that they are going to be profiling this particular campaign as one of the global success stories, that the TikTok is going to profile globally, that look what happened in Pakistan and how a brand, in this case a bank, HBL, collaborated and came up with something which became such a phenomenal success. For a versatile organization like HBL, which has been in Pakistan for the last 75 years, I think calling it a bank is not justified. HBL now is more than just a bank. Let's be very, very clear. And I'd like your viewers to look at HBL. I've known about HBL. HBL for me, you've known about HBL. Your parents would have known about HBL. It's 75 years old. Even before we became marketeers or journalists, we knew about HBL. So HBL doesn't, this building that you're sitting is an iconic building, HBL Plaza. It's an iconic building in itself. People know about it. Show it to anyone in Pakistan, they'll say, ये तो HBL Plaza है ना? That's in itself an iconic. So HBL does not necessarily need that brand recognition. And what it needs, it's now part of the socio-economic fabric of the country. And when you're part of the socio-economic fabric of the country, you need to be giving something back to the society. That's a simple fact. And I don't want to give you platitudes. I'd like numbers. I think a good marketing person should talk numbers as much as he or she should talk ideas and brand promises. Give some numbers. HBL has spent over the last 10 years 4 billion rupees, 4 Arab rupees, in the social uplift of Pakistan among different projects. 4 billion. That's a huge number. That on an average comes 400 million a year. 40 crore rupees har saal HBL Pakistan ke social uplift mein gata, and we do that in the fields of health, mass education, community projects, art. HBL PSL, उसको तो वो नंबर इसके अंदर शामिल नहीं होता है, but that's the way that we get back to the community. And recently what we have really done is when you say you don't really integrate that into your marketing activity, it underpins your marketing activity. So what we do for the society, HBL PSL is an example of that. Did we do HBL PSL because it's going to increase my brand awareness? Did we do HBL PSL because it's going to increase my brand consideration? All of those other matrices that did I really calculate my return on investment when I was taking on HBL PSL 8 years ago? We've been there for the last 8 years since it became into being in 2016, and we are still there for the next 2 years. So we will complete our 10 years association with HBL PSL. We didn't look at it that way. We look at HBL PSL and all our marketing activities when we engage with them is what does it do for the country? And I'm going to give you. So for us, HBL PSL is really not a hardcore marketing decision, but it falls more in the realm of sustainability and what we do for what has it done for us, for Pakistan. 2016 में अगर मैं आपसे कहता, 2016 में जब ये शुरू हुआ था, कि पता है आपको 2022 में मुल्तान में इंग्लैंड की टीम टेस्ट मैच खेल रही होगी, आपके दिन ना 2016 में तो पाकिस्तान में कोई आ नहीं रहा था भाई, तो आप ये कैसे कह सकते हैं कि 2022 में ये हो रहा होगा? But that's what happened. How did it happen? HBL PSL made it happen. When HBL PSL started, international cricketers started coming back to Pakistan. When they came to Pakistan, they said, hey, Pakistan is open for business. They went back and told their boards, oh, I just came back from Pakistan. It's fine. The stadiums are fine. The people are hospitable. The services are there. Let's go back to Pakistan. Let's start. So I think HBL PSL and HBL has played a key part in bringing international cricket back to Pakistan. For me, it's creativity is good, but I think the sustainability of that creativity is much more important. So you can't say, oh, I did this one campaign and then I went quiet. I think where HBL really comes in is it's our sustained presence across all mediums that enables us to stand out. So brand X will come in, it will advertise nicely in February and then disappear. But brand building really happens on sustained presence all year round across years. So if you think about HBL, I mean, when again, HBL, PSL, and I'll keep on coming back to that because at times we are very critical of ourselves. Think about it. In 2016, when we started off, you would have never thought कि आज 8 साल के बाद भी वो चल रहा होगा. It has become what it has become because it has been going on for the last 8 years. Had it started off in 2016 and 2017 and then just fizzled out in 2018, लोग कहते यार ये भी एक flash in the pan था, आया, चला गया. It is what it is right now because we tend to forget it's got 8 years of history behind it. So if you were to really ask me what distinguishes HBL about, from a marketing terminology, is that if there's one brand that you are confident that they will be out there either advertising or marketing its products on a scale that is seen across Pakistan, that's HBL. So I think I would call it sustained marketing effort year round, year after year. Yeah, there's a campaign called Ugly Nasl, and it's a DVC campaign. It's a DVC that we ran on the digital mediums, and got phenomenal response. But before I tell you what that Ugly Nasl campaign is, a little bit of background is one of our strategic imperatives is agriculture, and another of our strategic imperative of the bank is financial inclusion. Which in this case means getting women into the banking fold. ये बहुत ज़रूरी है पाकिस्तान की तरक्की के लिए कि ख़वातीन जो हैं वो बैंकिंग की तरफ आएँ. और ये जो हमारे जो दोनों HBL Connect especially is really spearheading that particular angle of financial inclusion. and now 4 million women, 40 लाख ख़वातीन जो हैं वो अब बैंकिंग के फोल्ड में आ चुकी हैं on the back of Connect by HBL, which is our branches bank platform. Now, when you take these two strategic imperatives of inclusion and agriculture, which is agriculture both in terms of the loans we give out to people, and also in terms of how we enhance the yield of farmers, which is not really banking. And again, it's not really banking. That part is not banking. Increasing the yield of the farmers, and how we employ. So we are actually running pilot projects on 45,000 acres. We have pilot projects चला रहा है HBL with agronomists, where we're reaching out to farmers and telling them how to improve their yield, how to get better returns from their crop, bypassing the RT, वो बीच को जब middleman को निकालने के बाद, because that's really where they come, so when we, and also food security, ग़ज़ाई तहफ़्फ़ुज़ के पर HBL काम कर रहा है इनके साथ, क्योंकि आइंदा आने वाले सालों में और दिहाइयों में ये जो फूड सिक्योरिटी है, ये एक पाकिस्तान के लिए और दुनिया भर में एक एग्जिस्टेंशियल क्राइसिस के तौर पे सामने आ सकती है. तो उस पर आपको आज से काम है. तो अगेन ये बैंकिंग नहीं है, ये हम लोन देने की बात नहीं कर रहे हैं. तो खैर जब हमने इन दोनों चीज़ों को कंबाइन किया, इधर हमने इंक्लूजन की बात की है, इधर हमने एग्रीकल्चर की बात की है. So we came up with this campaign called Ugly Nasl, and it's a beautiful campaign. It gives me the goosebumps every time I see that. Though I'm part, it shows how a kisan is taking his daughter, and rather than making her work in the field, he is taking her towards education. और लोग उससे कहते हैं कि भाई तुम अपनी बेटी को क्यों पढ़ा रहे हो, इसको खेतों पे काम करवाओ. एंड द मैन टर्न आउट से कि मैं इसको मैं पढ़ाऊँगा. इसको मैं पढ़ाऊँगा क्योंकि मेरी अगली फसल मेरी अगली नस्ल है. And I think it really resonated with you. I mean, I'll share that with you. It's a campaign that we have ran on our digital platforms. We also aired it in the cinema theaters and everywhere. And I think the response has been so overwhelming. And we wanted to run a very targeted campaign because we were targeting in a certain business segment. Or certain segment, not business, certain segment, which is rural areas of Pakistan and so on and so forth. So we said we're going to go through our digital platforms, which are very heavy in that area. But now we're going to go on television, because I think the message that spreads out is, I think, beyond that inclusion and beyond agriculture. I think the message is a message of hope. And at the end of the day, good marketing is all about hope, and a great organization, an organization like HBL, is all about hope. We are very alert to the changes that are coming through. That's the first part. And as I said, let me just, and what does that mean? And I said, when I said digital, I think we have to qualify that, because I think using the word digital or social media alone is a very expansive term. Within those are different platforms who have a totally different target audience, ethos. तो जिस तरीके से कन्वेंशनल मीडिया कहने के जब हम कहते हैं, हम इसमें बात नहीं करते, हम कहते हैं जी टीवी पे ये कर रहे हैं, रेडियो पे ये कर रहे हैं, अखबार में ये कर रहे हैं, आउटडोर पे ये हो रहा है. So I think talking about social media or digital, I think, is a very expansive term which misses the point. So I look at it as the following way. Over the last couple of years, we have gone ahead and we're on all social media platforms. If memory serves me, we are number one on Twitter amongst banks. We are number one in LinkedIn. We are number one on YouTube, which is the largest digital platform in Pakistan. And we are number one on TikTok. And the TikTok story is very interesting. We have 440,000 odd followers on TikTok for HBL, which makes us the number one bank in Pakistan on TikTok, and which makes us the 7th biggest organization in Pakistan. Not just banks, any organization. We're number 7. The number one organization has something like 2 million followers apparently. We are number 7th. So which is a great thing but we're not happy. We got to go more. That's where. But again, it's not just the numbers where we are, because I think we need to have right messaging. These platforms are just as they are. They are platforms. If you don't have the right content for these, then you're basically nowhere. So we are not just, and I'd like to correct something. We're not just about digital. We are also digital, because HBL, the bank, the breadth it has, we have to keep in mind the different segments that we serve. We serve the young and the upcoming, the TikTokers. We serve the 70-year plus people, the retirees, the pensioners. We serve housewives who've got the life savings with us. We serve corporate customers, and we are a systemically important bank. So it's a gamut of the people that we serve. I wish we could say, oh, we just serve this one niche. But again, if you're a bank as big as HBL with 36 million customer base, you've got to be nimble enough to say this target audience requires this message, this product, and is best served to this particular medium, whether it's conventional or digital. So that's what we do. So it's a very nice, what I would call, it's like a salad bowl. It's like a salad bowl. They're all elements. They're not really mixed with each other. That's what it is. So it's a salad bowl of offering that we have. So when you think of HBL's marketing and products and segments, you say it's a salad bowl.